I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing Schoolboy Runaway all over my TikTok and YouTube For You page. So I thought, why not build the house in Bloxburg? So let's just get straight into it. As you guys can see, I've already done the floor plan of the house. It may not be fully proportional to the one in-game because, I don't know, I really struggled with it. But you guys will still see the idea of the house anyway. Anyways, I'm just starting off with the exterior of the house. In case you guys don't know what that looks like, I'll insert a picture right here. But yeah, I've given this game a go and it's fun, but it's very hard. Essentially, the game is about a little kid who wants to go out and play with his friends. But his parents don't want that happening because his grades are really low. So instead of hanging out with his friends, he gets grounded and he has to do his homework. But apparently, homework and him do not go well, so he wants to sneak out of the house. And that's pretty much where we come into play. We have to be the little boy in the game and we have to go around the house without alerting the parents. The front door is locked and if you move anything, your parents will come and ground you even more. So in theory, this game does sound easy, but it is very hard. I could only get one ending and that was me using like a little cheat command. But anyways, it is still very fun, but I seem to suck at it. But if you guys have played it, definitely let me know how you guys go in the game. I also recommend giving it a go, it is very fun. Anyways, let's hop on to the topic of the build itself. Right now I've just built a hose where the Christmas tree will eventually go, and I've done like a custom broom and a doghouse. I love dogs, but I strongly dislike the dog in the game. He normally holds an object that you need to escape the house, and if you go near him, he will alert the parents. Anyways, right now I'm currently adding the ladder to the attic. I've never actually made it up there. Anyways, beside that there's just some random junk like this little tank and a few random building materials which I recreated using basic shapes. Once I had finished the side of the house, it was time for the roof. Oh my gosh guys, when I tell you, this roof gave me so much troubles at first. But I eventually found something I liked, but this was my first attempt and it's horrendous. But I did change it to this. And right now I'm adding dirt piles to the top to make it look like the roof has a big hole in it. And I do think that looks a lot more accurate than my first attempt. I'm also adding these floor ivies onto the ground to make it look like snow, and I also did use dirt piles. Also, if you look closely, I added some fairy lights across the area. But that was pretty much it for the exterior, other than a few other little details that is right behind me. But I'll get into those a bit later. Now for the interior, yay! For the interior, I just started out by using these stained walls and putting that everywhere. It kind of looks like cheese, not gonna lie. And the floor was just this ugly wood. I thought it would be easiest to do the hallways of the house, since they're pretty empty and I guess the most boring. So that's what I did, starting off with the entryway. And I started off by building like this little hanger, and then there's this doorbell, which is a way of escaping. I think you have to ring it 18 times to be able to escape through the front door. I also just added some shoes around the hallway, just like in the game. And that was pretty much it for that part of the hallway, which meant it was time for this area. First things first, I decided to work on the windows. All the windows in the house are pretty much like this, so these do get copied and pasted a lot throughout the house, and they just have these blue curtains and sheer ones. So I made sure to include that to the best of my ability. And then I also included the light switches that I've seen. Now for custom furniture. By this door there's like this cabinet thing, so I made sure to create that. It's pretty funny because you can lock your parents in this room by sliding this dresser thing right in front of the door, and that gets your parents very angry. I haven't tried that yet, but I've seen it in a lot of gameplays, but here is how it turned out. The hallways in this house really don't have much and they're pretty eerie, but I added these wall lights because they're somewhat similar to the one in game. Also, it was just me being lazy, but all I had to do was light up the hallway. Moving on to the next room, I thought it would be most fitting to do the kids' room, since that's where you spawn in the game, and I feel like it's the most iconic room in the game as well. I started off with the bed. I had to make it half custom with the headboard, just so it was a bit more accurate, and I did eventually change the wood color later. Anyways, I added a basic shape into the dresser because it wasn't originally eating, and made like a custom wardrobe. Not really custom, I just thought outside of the box kind of. Oh, and here's me recreating the curtains, and then I just copied that to the other side. Now it was time for the fairy lights. These get dangled all over the room, from curtain to over to his desk. But before I created the desk, I needed to add the rug. It's this very ugly yellow mustard color, and it's a ginormous rug. Also by the door it had a little coat rack with some stockings hanging on it. Also, here's a photo of the kids' room in case you guys don't know what it looks like. Now it's time for the desk. I had to make this using basic shapes and stuff. And golly gosh guys, this desk took me so long. And during it we had a massive storm while I was creating this. I was getting paranoid that we'd have another blackout because previously while building this I had experienced a blackout while doing the exterior of this build. So this build took me a few days to make. Anyways, right now I'm creating the wonky shelves of the kids' room. They're not fully accurate, but they're semi-accurate. And then I started to decorate it with his little PC and some of his frames with some of his accomplishments. He also needed a chair to sit down at to do his homework. And that was pretty much the essentials of the desk. Now I just needed to color and clutter this place a little more. Here is how his desk turned out. I'm pretty proud of it, which meant the room was pretty much done other than these fairy lights that needed to be dangled around and this little red bag. Here's me coloring it. Now it was time to work on the kitchen and dining area. I really wanted to tackle this room because this was one of the rooms that was intimidating me to do. So I started off by building this little cabinet thing. I'll insert a photo of the in-game one here. It definitely isn't accurate at all. I did get a bit lazy with this, I'm not going to lie. But you know what, it still gives you the point of what it's trying to be and it looks okay. Definitely not going to say it's my best work because it's not. But hey, it's a cabinet and you get the point. Anyways, here is it being completed and now I needed to add a plant in this corner. There we go. Now it was time for the dining table, but seeing that made me realize how in proportion this room was, so I did make a little edit and size down the room if you can see where I made a little cut. But the dining table was this checkered pattern and it just needed these chairs placed all around it, which is like this bluey color I think. And I just placed those all over the dining table, as well as some random clutter, which meant it was time to do the actual kitchen itself. I added a fridge, some cabinets, as well as some drawers like the in-game one, and a stove. That was the first basics of this kitchen. But then we needed a cabinet. I placed 2 of those just like the game had. And then we needed a hood above the stove. Once done, it was time to colour the kitchen to look a little more accurate to the game. They had this like unfinished wood pattern going around the place, so made sure to include that. I coloured the fridge to be white and lightened up the hood. There was also this microwave on this side, which was white, as well as some dishes I made sure to include. And then I just added a few bits of clutter and then this backsplash, which is a light greeny tile. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's fine, but the last touch was that TV I included. Now it was time for the bathroom. So I started off with the back area of the bathroom, which included the bath and some cleaning supplies. And then I forgot to do the floor tile, so I made sure to include that. And then I needed to do the shower curtain. So I made that using semi-transparent vertical cylinders. You guys can watch me create this bathroom. It's pretty basic compared to the rest of the house. But oh my goodness guys, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I live in Australia and I don't know if you guys know about the spiders, but we have plenty of spiders here. And well, a couple of days ago, a spider decided to give birth to its little babies in my bedroom. It was horrifying. It wasn't even the first time. We had a spider give birth to its babies in my bathroom once, and that was disgusting. I mean, I wasn't scared or anything because of how small they are, but I know they will get bigger. And in case you guys were curious on the type of spider it was a huntsman spider that gave birth. Anyways, the bathroom was done, which meant it was time to work on the lounge room area. So I was working on this wall design using these shelving, And the shelves had these backings, so I made sure to include that, as well as 2 little cabinets. I included this globe. I know it doesn't quite fit in the shelf, but I couldn't be bothered to fix it, okay? I added some books, some more books. I then fixed up the dresser underneath it because I wasn't happy to the previous ones I added. Oh, and also in this room, it's also dangled with fairy lights, which I think is pretty cute. So I did make sure to include that. I don't know why, but every time I enter this room in-game, I'm always scared that the dad is gonna catch me because he's normally just sitting on the couch watching TV. I don't know, this room just feels like one of the riskier rooms. But here I am, working on the TV stand and re-stringing these lights across the room. They go and dangle all over the curtains as well. This room also includes a massive rug in the center. Well, almost the center, and it's this ugly red color. I don't know why they like their colored rugs the way they're colored. But anyways, I made sure to include that. And then I used this couch. I know it's not the prettiest, but it looked the most accurate to the in-game one, so I included that. I also made sure to include the little coffee table and added some clutter onto that, as well as cluttering up this little dresser. And that meant this room was pretty much done as well. And this is my last room I'm doing, which is the parents' bedroom. They have this air conditioner in the top area of the room. I forgot to add the door, so I included that. I also got lazy with making a custom closet, so just ignore how ugly these are, okay? Anyways, I'll make it up to you guys because now I'm making a custom vanity for the mum. And you know what? I would say it turned out pretty accurate. Maybe not the size-wise, but in general, it does look pretty accurate. So I made that. I added the shelves and the drawers, the mirror, as well as the makeup that the mum uses, of course. This room also has a massive rug in it, so I did include that. This rug ends up being very glitchy, but I couldn't be bothered to fix it, but it's like this purpley blue color. Anyways, in the center of this wall there's a bed which I added, and then on this side of the wall there's shelves as well as these shelves. They're 2 very different shelves, but I made them work. There was no fitting texture for the bed sheets like the in-game ones, so this is just what I made. Not the most accurate, but you know what, it's fine, it's a bed. I also added some bedside tables to this room, a plant in this corner like the in-game one, and these wall lights. I'm sorry, I know these look bad, but I didn't want to make custom ones. I then cluttered up the shelves with some random items like some books and some flowers. I also did the other shelf as well, as you guys can see. And I forgot to add the chair to the vanity, so I made sure to include that. And this one is like a aqua color, so I colored that to be a little more accurate. And now it was time for the tour. As mentioned before, this house is not fully to scale. I probably could have made it a little smaller, but you know what, it's fine. Here is it in all of its glory. I added some power lines and the doorbell area. Here's the little dog kennel. The house has some dirt stains on it, some snow everywhere, as well as this Christmas tree since it's still in its Christmas update. Over to the side of the house we have the power box, we have the attic, and also the random clutter that's over here. That was pretty much it for the exterior because none of the house has anything else, but here is the interior. First we have the entryway. I think this looks pretty accurate, it's giving me the in-game vibes. We got the doorbell, we got the shoes on the ground, we got the hooks and the little thing that I couldn't be bothered to actually make. Over to this area of the hallway, it's pretty blank like the in-game, but we have this custom drawers, and through here it's supposed to be a storage room, but I never got around to doing that, so just ignore how that's not done. Anyways, let's move on to the bathroom. If I had to choose one room to be my least favorite, it would probably be this bathroom. I just think it's the most boring out of the whole house. It kind of looks very blocky. But we have the random clutter, we have the mirror, we have the trash can, we've got the laundry basket and the washing machine itself, the toilet paper, the toilet. It's fine, it still works as the bathroom and it's still somewhat accurate, but now here is the kitchen. I also don't like this room that much, but here are the windows. Look how pretty the sun comes through. Anyways, here's my very ugly cabinet area. We've got the TV on this wall, we got the dining table with its bowl of food. It's actually just a pot with dirt in it, but you know what, it's fine. And over here is the kitchen itself, and normally the mum would stand right where I am. I think the kitchen itself turned alright, but the rest of the room is a bit eh. Moving on to the kids' bedroom. I think this was the most accurate room I've made. We've got the bed over here, we got the wardrobe, we got the desk. I'm really happy with how the desk turned out. I think it turned out great. Really accurate to the in-game one. But yeah, here is the kids' room. Now heading down the hallway, we have the lounge room. I really don't like the colors for this room, but you know what? It kind of makes it scarier, like in game as well. But I would say this looks pretty accurate. This is where the dad would sit and watch his TV. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the living area. And then we have the parents' bedroom. Oh my goodness, guys, please just ignore the carpet, okay? It's horrendous. But we have the bed, we got the bedside tables, we got the shelving, we got the wardrobe, and the mum's vanity, which I think looks the most accurate. That was it for the interior of the house, but there's one more little detail over here, which is the hay pile. This hay pile is added here for one of the endings, so you can jump off the roof and land in the hay pile safely to escape the house. Anyways, that pretty much concludes today's video. If you like this video, definitely leave a thumbs up and subscribe to see more from me. Also, if you guys would like to see me recreate anything else, definitely comment it down below. But that's it for today's video. Goodbye!